Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33, teachings for your past, present and future. Good morning, everyone. It is the 6th of May here in Auckland, New Zealand. Another week, another Monday mantra, another recap to look at what we have had coming up in order for us to be able to progress our souls. Now, if you are listening to this on the Beacon app or on YouTube or on Spotify, the way that I can grow this platform as an individual person that is not based with a huge company supporting the app is when you guys let people know that this app exists, that your spiritual healer is here in your pocket to give you homework and lessons every week in order for you to be aware and more conscious in your life about what is going on and what the energy is asking of you. So sharing and letting people know and liking and subscribing and doing all the things really helps me. So I really appreciate you. We have a good Monday mantra this week. I'm actually really excited about looking at how this week transpires, but we need to do the recap first on last week. Now, last week, I set the Monday mantra as, the power is in my hands, I have nothing to lose. The power is in my hands, I have nothing to lose. I had a lot of things come up for me last week, and I had to come back to the Monday mantra and go, okay, if I had nothing to lose, what would I say? If I had nothing to lose, how would I behave? If I had nothing to lose, what would I do? This transition that we've been making from April to May, April, I said to you, the broader theme was around loyalty. What are we loyal to? Who are we loyal to? Who's betraying us? All of that kind of stuff, even if it's self-betrayal. And this month, it's all about new projects, growth, adaptation. This is why your May monthly healing involves and includes all of that to support you during the month of May of any year. If you looked in the mirror, and I had to do this a few times, looking in the mirror, and I'm not talking about, I gave you out in the mirror last week, but I'm also talking about the reflection of everybody else looking at you. And I did that quite a lot, looking at people going, okay, how is this a reflection of me? Because I am controlling a lot of what I'm seeing with people around me. And there were times where I could feel powerlessness within myself because it was a reflection of whoever I was seeing or the clients I was seeing. But when I felt that energy transmute, I knew that this was all about our personal power. What are we left with when we feel like there's nothing controlling us or we've got nothing to lose, that we need to speak up and do and say and accept certain situations? April was all about reevaluation. Because we had the Mercury retrograde, independence, interdependence, who we're working with, how we work when we're all alone. And it's all connected to that loyalty. And it's still playing a part this month. It's just in a different way. With May, we're going to be gaining a lot of traction. And it may not be traction in the way that you think of just doing, and doing. When we plant a seed, it takes time to grow. It takes nurturing to grow, and we give it the space to grow. We can't speed up that germination and the growth of the seed. That's very much about the growth in May. It's not like we're just pouring fertilizer on everything, and it's still not going to speed it up, but we still have to let nature take its course. It's about that this month. Growth and adapting to the conditions, just like how plants adapt to the conditions. The vibration that I've been getting around this ET extraterrestrial thing, I don't know whether you saw, I went on a couple of beach walks last week, and there was this cloud formation that looked like a spaceship. Now, the reason why I took a photo of that, I put it on my stories if some of you commented on that and sent me a message. I have a friend who's a medium, and she had shown me a couple of years ago, this cloud formation that she knew was extraterrestrial. And I had that same feeling about that cloud formation because I've been feeling them around and they've been coming through for clients and all of that. And so this is the new frequency upgrade that I'm feeling, where we're getting a lot of information and it can be overwhelming, and it can be overwhelming to the body. So this is why I talked about disorder in the body. If things are all over the place, it changes the chemical imbalance in the body. So if you're feeling anything in your body, it's because there's something in your life that you're not liking the mirror image of, and that needs to change. Lightening your workload. I know this is not easy for many, but it's about taking some downtime. Like a friend of mine said, she took a nap during the day last week and she normally wouldn't. For me, I had a bit more space than usual, and Spirit also creates space for me when they think that I need it. And it might not come up in the way that I want, but it comes up in the way that I need. Power struggles. This is again coming back to personal power. So as the week went on, I really knew what Spirit was meaning when they gave me the Monday mantra of the power is in my hands. I have nothing to lose. Power struggles. We do this dance with people that we are in relationships with or in any capacity. And we're all trying to find our power again. What can we say? It puts someone on the back foot. Then they say something, it puts us on the back foot. And then if we stand together, that's even stronger because we're leaning into what each other needs. And this whole walking away energy of walking away from certain things, this has very much been something that's been going on in my life for a couple of years, but it's really ramped up in the last couple of months. But we need to know that this is happening even when we thought that we really wanted that person in our lives. It's all being pushed aside to find loyalty to the people and to you who is actually living your life and has the power to create what you want. Contribute to the balance and complement the situation. I, being a talker during work and pretty silent person in my personal life, I looked at how I was contributing to the balance of situations. Now, I didn't necessarily do that at the time when I was having conversations. It was after going, okay, did I just add fuel to that or did I complement it? But I always trust what I say because my job is as a vessel to pass on messages and healing to people. So look back at last week. Did you complement situations and contribute that way, or were you somehow trying to exert power? Exert power by knowing someone's insecurities and not giving them what they needed as the anecdote to that. The anecdote, this is what I'm getting right now. We need to figure out the anecdotes to the insecurities of people in our lives, including ourselves. So we all have insecurities. What is the anecdote to your insecurity? What is the anecdote to insecurities of your children, of your partner, of your colleagues, of your whoever, employees, whatever it is? Free yourself of the unworthiness. Interesting, I didn't even see that was coming up next when I was getting the information about the anecdotes to insecurities. When we have insecurities, it can stem from unworthiness and the unworthiness of not allowing ourselves to have peace and love in our lives, which then goes back to sabotage. Because sometimes when things are all smooth sailing, some of us can be like, okay, what's going to come up now? Rather than going, actually, I'm worthy of having this peace in my life. I'm worthy of having this love. I'm just trying to create something because I'm trying to use that part of me that feels powerless to try and control. We humans are very complicated beings, but this is the nature of the things that I've been seeing. Choosing a new way to be. This is really a difficult thing. Like I've been trying, a lot on my mind, getting it out with positive affirmations, been going for body work, all kinds of things to release any, collected energy from interactions that I've had, and allowing myself to be a vessel of worthiness, of love, of power, and reminding us that we are allowed, and I am giving you permission, not that you need it, but sometimes we all need to hear it. You're allowed to be secure. You're allowed to be stable. You are worthy of what you want to receive. As we move through the week, I reiterated, the power being in our hands. I had this conversation and it was about, you have a lot more control over how you feel in the physical body and in the mind than we think. It can be very hard to control the mind, but if we can shift that energy out and we can shift the thought process, like I notice with the old programming leaving, I am replacing it with more positive things. So if I have something negative going over in my head, I will look at what the anecdote is to that insecurity, and I'll be repeating that over and over in my head, and I can then feel it shift in my body. The two cards that came up in my third eye while I was recording the Monday Mantra, I've already got one, I'm going to talk to you about that for this week, were the Two of Cups and the Three of Swords. And what I talked about was that the trauma release frequency, which then results to insecurities, unworthiness, not feeling like you're lovable, all of those things, started to open up last week. And I could feel the shift around the 1st of May, which made sense because it was Beltane, it was the new beginning of the new month, and the heart began to open. Like I went for some body work last week to one of my healer body workers, and she said, your body's never been so open and receptive before. And my mind wasn't feeling that, but I actually knew in my body that that's how I was feeling, because the mind always wants to tell you something else. So with that affirmation and validation from a fellow healer who works physically manipulating the body, I worked with that anecdote from the body to the mind. Okay, so there's a message in there for you to really think about. What is the anecdote within your body to change the new way of being in your mind, and therefore you start mirroring what you really want and who you really are. We've all had betrayals, we've all had grief, we've all had hurt and pain in whatever form in this lifetime, lifetimes before, and it all accumulates. And for whatever timeline it was on, it is being released now, and it's for that unity, and that it's for that Two of Cups energy, a power balance that resumes as we transition into May. We're resuming that power balance that we all need to feel safe and secure. There's nothing worse than feeling controlled. There's nothing worse than someone trying to control you or take your power away. This is why we're needing to unite with people and experiences that mirror really what we want. The Two of Cups, when I first saw that in my third eye, was telling me that everything is coming together. First, there needs to be some pain in order for us to learn and heal. I mean, most people, I think there's been research done. No, I know there's been research done, I just don't know by whom, where when you ask people if they could take away or completely delete the most traumatic experiences from their lives, they don't, because it's shaped them. This is the same thing. It is, we learn from these experiences that can be painful stabs in the backs and stabs into the heart. But we have nothing to lose anymore because our power is being restored. And the reflection of all that we see in the world, and I know some people will be like, well, what about the people experiencing war and all the people? I know it's really hard to get our head around, but those are the soul experiences that person has come here to learn. And we're all at these different stages of our soul progression, but there is an element of this, if that person was really consciously aware, to look at, to find out where their power is within the situation, because we can only all do our best within our situations. The reflection that we're seeing in people, really spend time looking into people's eyes, because you can tell. It's like sometimes when you see a mugshot and you know that person has done something terrible. Did I tell you about this experience? I can't remember, but it's coming to mind now, so I'm going to share it with you. A few weeks ago, I went for a beach walk and I sat down. I don't normally sit down at the beach. I usually just keep moving and walking. I'll be listening to my music and whatever. And I sat down, and this gentleman, a young man, I was seated this way, and a young man came towards my right. And like, there's lots of people on the beach. And I looked at him in the eyes, and it's like, if you're watching this on the video, I'm going to demonstrate with my terrible acting skills. He was like, it's like he got the biggest fright. And I spiritually received downloads at that time of what I know that this young man has done to children. And the fright that he got was not that, oh, surprise, there's one person on the beach. There's lots of people on the beach. In fact, there was someone seated not very far away from me. So it's not that he was surprised that there's a person there. He was surprised that he knew that I knew. And this is what I mean. It's like look into people's eyes to see the truth. And this is going to be really important in a world where people are trying to, unfortunately, people are trying to destroy and cancel people and pull people down. You need to always know the truth. Review how the Two of Cups and the Three of Swords has been playing out for you. Your Three of Swords might not have happened last week. It's old traumas that I'm talking about. And look at how you're experiencing this in your own life now, and how one without the other wasn't possible, because you can't unite until you know what it means to not have that. As we moved on, I talked about the card for the week, and it was a new idea. And I loved this card because we've been having the theme of like the sacred card and the master's card for a while. And this one was a new idea, and I wrote, when power is in your hands, you can have infinite possibilities, which is what this year is about, 2024. And it's the infinite possibilities to decide what you want and where you need to go. So when power is in your hands, you can have infinite possibilities to decide what you want and where you need to go. In a week where we are mirror images of what we see, we will begin to have ideas of what we can do now. We can limit ourselves by having negative thoughts, by putting the handbrake on, but if we've got nothing to lose anymore, how would you live your life? What are the new ideas that would come in for you to act on? And these new frequencies that are coming in from the light, which means a light switches on, and I knew that's why they picked that card for me, Spirit, is because it's not just about the new idea. It's when we switch a light on, we can see the light. And we can see the light where it may have been dark. Time heals a lot of things. Time gives us the ability to have clarity. And this is also what it means. Like I was giving you the example of planting a seed. We need time for things to grow. So the new idea came up to remind us that the missing element for your creation is presenting itself. So are you ready to see it? The connections that we're making with people at the moment are really important. So you want to keep the people in your life that are really giving you the support and the connection that you're needing to be yourself. And as I wrote the extended meaning of the Monday mantra, power isn't exertion. It's not force. As much as it is in my shadow side also to force and push and do all of those things. Power is the ability to handle your truth. Whatever is going on in your life, what you know to be true, we need to be able to handle that. And you have and will receive all the support and information you need to be at peace with where you are now and grow into your potential. This is your personal power. When we can handle what we are dealt, we know it is meant for us. When we can see why we have been dealt this card, that gives us the ability to accept, and then from that acceptance, we change. Remember, I'm always here for you. I'm only one person, and I'm doing my very, very best to create resources for you so that you can have access to me. I was telling my friend last week, I've just got a very big bill from IT for the app. It's, in the mid thousands, and that's just for hosting the app. So your app here, I've put up for you at a very, very minimal cost. It still costs me money, a lot of money, and also because I'm adding more features, they're building that now which is another several $1,000s. So your subscriptions and your memberships really help me to invest into the app and create more resources without having to put the app on the main app stores, which I'd have to charge at least $25 a month. So Kieran is the person to ask. If you need help, go and get the link from her to renew or subscribe. Personalized meditations and mini readings for brief questions. Now, I don't answer questions about past lives or wanting me to communicate with souls and things, because that takes a lot of time and for me to deeply connect with you. But mini readings are great if you're needing just some guidance or some help or some assistance in whatever's going on, or what you need to know, what you want spirit guidance at that time. Kieran is the person to ask, soul33@gmail.com. And you remember, if you're having any IT issues, please don't sit and suffer in silence. Email and tell us so that we can go directly to our full-time developers to get the help to help you. Okay, are you ready for this week's Monday mantra? I am who I say I am. I am who I say I am. So this is a variation on I am that I am. But I am who I say I am. Masks are coming off. Are you walking your talk? This is really important. Now, I never sugarcoat. I don't sit here on my high horse like, oh, my life is perfect and I'm wonderful. Oh, God, no. I have the weirdest things that come up in my life, and I'm learning just like everybody else. It's just that I have a very strong connection to spirit, and I know immediately what is true and what I need to learn. But spirit wants us to be authentic in all circumstances. So if you are not walking your talk, what is the opposite of what you're doing now that you need to do? So if you are not walking your talk, what is the opposite of what you are doing now that you need to do to come back into that balance? Again, your personal power. As we mentioned in the recap, I am the mirror of what I see, whether I like it or not. And it's sometimes a great reflection to look at yourself and go, I've let myself down and now I need to change. I haven't spoken up enough. Now I need to speak up more because I've got nothing to lose. There will be a clearing of the old this week. I know it's a new moon, middle of the week, but there is still a clearing energy. And that clearing is going to be really helpful with your intentions, because we need to make wise choices. And the choices that we make have consequences, and we need to be responsible for the consequences. Good, and also if we don't think about everybody around us, which is sometimes hard. This is not making choices based on what other people want from you. It's just knowing, okay, how is this going to influence the main people in my life? This is where, before I came on, I asked them to show me a card in my third eye, and interestingly, it was the Six of Pentacles. Now, I have given you Goddess Lakshmi meditation in your homework, because there is this abundant energy coming in. And when we look at the Six of Pentacles, it's us standing there, and there are people begging, almost begging, and we are giving. We're giving what we can. But we're not giving from a place of arrogance. We're giving because it is our choice to give. Now, this is not giving money. And this is, again, where I talked about earlier on in the recap. Are we holding something back to penalize somebody else or make them suffer? This is where it's really important that we look at what we are giving this week. And I'll come back to the Six of Pentacles in a minute. The energy of who is around you to support is coming up again, and it's in terms of what you are trying to grow. This month, there's teamwork, collaboration, but if you're not vibrating and accepting these new frequencies, you will be seeing the opposite of my Monday mantras. So remember, I always focus on the light of the Monday mantras. I'm not going to sit here and talk about all the other side of things, because I don't want to focus on that myself. It comes up naturally as things need to happen and be cleared, but I'm focusing on the light. So if you are seeing the opposite, so for example, I had no power last week. Okay, what do you need to change? If you're seeing this week that you're not walking your talk and people are calling you out on that, or you could be feeling the opposite where people are going, you are the real deal, you are authentic, then you know that you're a reflection of what you truly are. And how you perceive your personal power will depend on what you are receiving from people and what you are giving. So it's the two sides of the coin. It's the Six of Pentacles, giving, receiving, being able to share. It may mean sharing knowledge. It may mean sharing time. All of those things are going to be really important with the energy of this week. People are also showing you who they really are. So be sure to see it in them and in yourself. So if you experience immense amounts of generosity or kindness or whatever, it's because of you. You are like that. We're a reflection of all of our friends and people around us. Your inner circle is tightening up as boundaries become stronger. So you might see some boundaries of people trying, like the Six of Pentacles, it came up upright in my third eye. And that could also mean that people are groveling to take from you, but not giving you anything. So it's about reciprocating as well. And as boundaries are becoming stronger, you are not only aligning with your new way, but people are also being lovingly released. Farewell. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the experience. Goodbye. I'm allowing the new to come in. And it won't be a hard thing to do, especially over time, because you'll see it as a natural progression for more like-minded people and experiences to come in. So if you are walking around with a mask on and not being who you really are, you are going to see it in the superficialness of the people that you attract. There is success energy, abundance energy. It comes in for us to consider if we give a little, we keep a little, and we save some for another time. So those are the three things you want to think about. If it's time, if it's whatever. Give a little, keep a little, save some for another time. Things are clearing the way for more success. So do as you feel, but also if you're going to take a gamble or a risk, do veer on the side of caution this week. It's more, especially when it comes to significant financial investments, but we are generating that abundant energy. So give from a place of knowing that you're going to, not that we're giving with the intention of, oh, I'm going to get more, but just know there's more of where that came from. And in order for things to become possible, we need to trust where we are at and the events that are happening for us. So trust yourself. And I had to remind myself of, in my own head last week, trust yourself. Trust that the key to your success is being who you say that you are. I'm going to get you to close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to see yourself in a position of power. And this could be you're the leader of your family, a leader at work, you're the leader of your own life. And with this power that you have, you're able to nourish yourself first, and you're able to give something to make somebody else's life better, whether you cook them a meal or you take them out for coffee or you share a polite kind word or compliment. This is how we're going to give and receive. And we bring in Lakshmi's blessings now in order for abundance to be fair for everybody. Because we don't all need to be richer than each other. There's abundance enough for everybody. And I'm giving you this abundant energy now, knowing that you may this week be on the giving end, and sometimes you might be giving on the receiving end, but it's where you need to be for the balance to take place. But you are surrounded with abundance and you are surrounded with wealth, and however that may support you this week. So giving you all the resources that you need. I'm here for you. Kieran is the person to ask. If you need help, go on a wait list and wait for the right time. It is always the right time when you see me. There is no rush to see me. I'm not the type of service where I'm here to be rushed because Spirit dictates the timing. You guys all know, those who've seen me for years know, it's always the right time when you come. Your Monday mantra this week is, I am who I say I am. All the masks off. I am who I say I am.